I'm Kyra.
I'm Armani.
And here's your CT PSA. Today we're discussing the Dakota Access Pipeline. The Dakota Access Pipeline is a pipeline that was projected to run from the Baker oil fields as well as under part of the Lake oil fields.
Hello, I'm Armani. I'm here interviewing John A. and Mariah. So how do you feel about the pipeline? Why should we care?
I think that the pipeline was a very bad decision on the company's part to make it go under the lake because it can contaminate the drinking water for the people who live on the land.
It's almost like the Flint issue that caused a lot of displacement for people.
As we all know, Native Americans were the first native to step foot and live on North America. And as you know, American expeditions were made and they claimed they found America first, North America at that. And as soon as more Americans came in, that's when they began to push Native Americans off their own sacred grounds, and that's not fair. Over centuries, Native Americans have been mistreated, slaughtered, because basically they wouldn't give up their land that Americans want to steal from them.
The way America is screwing over Native Americans for the 200th year in a row. What is Dakota Access Pipeline? But in case you haven't heard about it, here's what's going on. The Standing Rock Sioux Tribe has been protesting to block the completion of an interstate oil pipeline that an energy company plans to route under their ancestral land. And there's two reasons that they're trying to block it. One, the land is sacred to them, right? And it's their land. And two, they are worried about the oil pipe leaking and contaminating the Missouri River, which is their main water source.
800,000 acres of land was taken from Mohawks to push them westward. Native Americans have been mistreated nonstop, and in modern day time, the Dakota Pipeline is a replay of what went on back in the day. Dakota Access Pipeline is basically a pipeline where it's like under the Native Americans' sacred grounds, and America's government is trying to alter it, and by altering it, it may cause a leak of oil, and the oil might pollute the Native Americans' main water source and cause displacement and destroy their sacred grounds. So back in 1739, within the Revolutionary War, basically Indians had decided, with the British, to fight against Americans that they share their lands with because Americans wanted to mistreat them and not be fair towards them. And also stated within our chapter, it says, in the Treaty of Greenville, it was agreed that in return for certain cessions of land, the United States would give up claims to the Indian lands north of Ohio, east of Mississippi, and south of the Great Lakes. And basically, with that being said, the Dakota Access Pipeline is like by the Mississippi River, and the Americans are trying to alter it. Well, American government is trying to alter it, and it's like destroying it. So it's not fair.
Access Pipeline, which I just mentioned, is now officially open for business. A $3.8 billion investment in American infrastructure that was stalled, and nobody thought any politician would have the guts to approve that final leg. And I just closed my eyes and said, do it.
About the Dakota Pipeline, which was an inherent situation, and the government should have done more about it. It was very dangerous and inconsiderate of them. It almost reminds me of the Flint water crisis that happened a couple of years ago. They could have bought water from Lake Huron, but instead they just chose to treat it, and they're just now starting to treat it. And that was very dangerous on their part. Lots of lives were lost, and I find that to be very terrible on the government's part. If they're about their people and want the people to be about them, they should do more to help their people. They shouldn't procrastinate. They should get right on the issue. But instead, they sit around and expect for the people to just do whatever they say.
And this ties into the chapter because in chapter 5, it talks about how the Native Americans fought on the side of the British for the Revolutionary War against the Americans. And they chose to fight with the British because the British promised that they wouldn't intrude on the Native American land. However, the Americans had no consideration for the Native Americans whatsoever and treated them very badly.